AARP endorses his bill.
And that got the true, that got barely true of the truth meter, and you got 6 lies.
Well, that's why we need to have more debate on this issue.
We need honest debate.
Honest debate, and that's why I'm so thankful that you came today. I'm so thankful
So we can
that you came
make her
today.
honest?
Those who agree, those who disagree, I'm glad that we're all here because we need to find out not what we think is in this bill, but what's actually in this bill. Washington, D.C. is telling the American people, trust us. Trust us. I think we've been there, done that. Now we want to have proof on the table.
would have done a lot better and he introduced his proposal rather than been up there defending the proposal of Mr. Waxman, Mr. Miller, and Mr. Starr.
By the way, I know I'm the moderator, but as an educator for 34 years, I wouldn't allow that T-shirt in my school. You saw this T-shirt.
Freedom of speech! Freedom of speech!
Okay, on my right.
Yes. My name is Emmanuel Zapata. Figuratively speaking, that is. What my name is LeRoy Schaffer. I'm a city councilman from St. Francis, so I'm sort of, in a way, in a very small way, an insider. And I'll tell you, she's right. We got the best health care in the world. The very best! Don't clap too soon. That's if you can afford it. You can't tell me that bringing $300 million into a large pool wouldn't have immediate clout. And I'll be danged if I'm going to give up my Social Security because it's socialism. I'm not going to give up my Medicare.
You get him, LeRoy! That's the boy!
Time again, that the government in some things has to have their fingers on the pulse. Where competition is needed is the marketplace. But I have a lawyer who told me very poignantly, you know what? Why don't we have the Fortune 500 corporation heads run this government? Because with all the lobbying they do, they are anyway, it seems like. Now that's somewhat the truth. It's scary.
Get him, LeRoy!
I know 100% of they wouldn't be listening to us, believe me. And I'll tell you one thing else. As a politician, I know this. We work on your fears. I'm too small. I can pay for my own campaigning. You look at your internet and find out where these guys get their money. And I'll show you on the internet where they vote most of the time.
Sir, you need a question. We need a question.
You need a question. Well, the question is in that, do you think the lobbyists and the money interests in that are actually running this government? Michele Bachmann. You can agree or disagree, because it all depends on who you believe, guys. You can believe me, you can believe them. That's what it boils down to. You know, they have the right to say what they got to say. And I appreciate you letting me give this emotional speech here because it's necessary. A lot of us, six-pack Joe,
Thank you for your question. I appreciate it, and you're probably the best dressed person here in the auditorium today, so congratulations. But your question is about the lobbyists and do they run the government. The 535 members of Congress that have election certificates cast their votes, as well as the President of the United States, who was elected by the people. We're the ones who make the decisions, but there is a lot of truth in what you said about the influence of special interests behind those votes. And I think people need to follow the money, as you said, and find out where it comes from.
Michele,
and lobbyists are crawling all over Washington, D.C. right now. And you can take that to the bank.
I just want to make one more comment on that. I think we should start a party. Dump the incumbents. Dump the incumbents.
Okay, here we go. Let's continue on. We've got plenty of people with questions on my left.
Hello, my name is Irene Boone, and I'm from Stillwater, Minnesota. And Michele Bachmann, you are not my hero. I've watched you
Please speak into the microphone. So
you have done very little that ever represented the community.
Yes.
This is for
Question.
Comment here.
Quiet, please.
A lot more than 3% of Americans need healthcare help. Please abandon ultra-conservative distortions and lies regarding tort law and taxes by irresponsible companies and people too cheap to pay their fair tax share and who have no real concern for public health. This is my comment, please. More tax cuts are regressive and will push the tax burden down again and make the deficit worse and destroy government. Taxes should pay for community needs. I've heard some people in this audience say no, they shouldn't. Government folks used to say it. Please support real national health care, also called universal single payer. And it is really better and cheaper. Right-wing opponents lie. They have always lied. Prices are high due to greed. Insurance companies only profit from government subsidies. This is a comment, you idiot. After they have helped bank government.
Okay, we have a question.
With no concern at all for American health.
Question.
Reverse Reaganomics tax cuts.
And we have a question.
This is my comment. No.
Lecture over! Question! Other questions?
Shut the mic off.
By the way, productivity.
Ma'am, do you have a question? Do you have, yes or no? Okay, we're going to have to go to the other mic. We're going to have to go to the other mic.
Let me just respond. Let me respond on the issue of taxation. It's important for people to know that 40% of Americans pay no federal income tax today. 1% of Americans pay 40% of all taxes. 5% of Americans pay fully 60% of all taxes. If President Obama's measures go forward, over 50% of Americans will be relieved of any federal tax liability burden. My opinion is that taxes need to be fair and they need to be shared. And when you have federal government offering benefits to all and not asking for contribution for all, that's when you get dramatic distortion. So I think it's important that we take a look at our tax structure, and as we need to have reform in healthcare, we desperately need to have reform in taxation and our tax code. It needs to be scrapped and simplified.
To the gentleman on my right.